Big news just came out of Washington, and if you're on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, this could be a game changer. Congress has just passed a new bill, and the numbers they're talking about are nothing short of shocking. We're looking at potential $4,600 monthly payments for eligible seniors and disability recipients. Now, before you get too excited or too skeptical, let's break it down fact by fact. Because as you know, when it comes to Social Security, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Some headlines are designed to grab attention but lack real substance, and that's exactly what we'll clear up today. What does this bill actually say? Who qualifies? When will these payments start? And is this really a guaranteed increase or just another political promise? One thing is certain, Social Security has been at the center of heated debates in Congress, with lawmakers under immense pressure to deliver relief for seniors struggling with rising costs, inflation, and fixed incomes. And while previous proposals have stalled, this one has already passed, which means the potential impact is real. But how much of that $4,600 per month is it actually guaranteed? Are all seniors getting it, or does it depend on income, disability status, or other qualifications? These are the key questions that need real answers, not just speculation. So, if you or someone you love depends on Social Security, stay with me until the end. We're cutting through the noise, breaking down this bill, and telling you exactly what it means for your checks in 2024. And if you appreciate clear, honest updates on Social Security, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us keep bringing you the facts that matter. Now, let's get into it. All right, let's dive straight into what this bill really means for you. First, let's be clear, when a bill passes in Congress, that's a big deal, but it doesn't automatically mean money is hitting your bank account tomorrow. Every law goes through several steps before it actually affects your Social Security payments. That's why it's critical to understand where this legislation stands and how it could impact you. So, what's actually inside this bill? The big headline everyone's talking about is that Social Security beneficiaries, especially those on SSI and SSDI, could see up to $4,600 per month. That's a huge jump from what many people are currently receiving. If this sounds too good to be true, don't worry, we're going to break it down so you can see exactly where this number comes from and whether or not it's realistic. Now, if you've been keeping up with Social Security news, you know that Congress has been under pressure to increase benefits for seniors and those with disabilities. The cost of living has skyrocketed, healthcare expenses are through the roof, and for many, the current Social Security payments simply don't cut it. Lawmakers have been discussing various plans to fix this problem, but up until now, most of them have been just that, discussions. So, what makes this bill different? Well, for one, it has actually passed, which means there's real movement toward increasing payments. But the question is, who qualifies? When would these payments start? And is the government actually going to deliver on these numbers? Let's start with qualifications. Who is eligible for this increased payment? Based on the bill's current structure, the $4,600 amount isn't a flat check that automatically goes to every Social Security recipient. Instead, it applies to those who meet certain criteria. If you've been following previous proposals, you'll remember that there have been attempts to boost benefits for low-income seniors, disabled individuals, and those who have been receiving payments for extended periods. This bill follows a similar path. It aims to prioritize the most vulnerable seniors and SSDI beneficiaries. That means your income level, work history, and specific disability status could determine how much you actually get. Now, let's talk about timing. When would these payments actually start arriving? Well, here's the truth. Just because a bill passes doesn't mean checks go out the next day. The process of implementing these changes takes time. Right now, lawmakers are debating the specifics of funding and logistics. While some experts believe payments could start later this year, others argue it might take longer, possibly into 2025 or even 2026, depending on how quickly the government finalizes the details. The biggest obstacle? Funding. Social Security already faces financial concerns, and increasing benefits across the board requires either raising taxes, reallocating funds, or making budget adjustments elsewhere. These are the types of challenges that often delay payments, and that's something to keep in mind as we move forward. But let's get back to the real question. Is this $4,600 figure realistic for most seniors? Here's the thing. When politicians throw out numbers, they often represent the highest possible amount someone could receive under perfect conditions. In other words, not everyone will qualify for the full $4,600. Many seniors might see a smaller increase, while others might not qualify at all, depending on their income and benefit structure. However, the fact that Congress has passed a bill that even mentions this number is a huge shift in the conversation. It signals that lawmakers recognize the urgency of helping Social Security recipients and that changes are coming. One of the biggest reasons Congress is even considering this increase is because of the growing financial struggles among seniors. Over the past decade, we've seen inflation eat away at Social Security checks, making it harder for seniors to cover basic expenses like rent, utilities, and medication. This is why cost of living adjustments, COLA, have been introduced every year. But as many of you know, those increases barely keep up with actual rising costs. This bill aims to go beyond the standard COLA increases and actually boost monthly payments in a meaningful way. Another major issue driving this legislation is housing costs. Rent prices have soared across the country, and many seniors are being forced to make tough choices, pay for rent or pay for medication. That's not a choice anyone should have to make, and it's one of the reasons why lawmakers are pushing for these higher Social Security payments. The $4,600 figure takes into account the reality that many Social Security recipients are struggling to afford basic living expenses. Of course, whenever a big change like this is proposed, there are always political debates and financial concerns. Some lawmakers argue that increasing Social Security benefits at this level could put additional strain on the program's long-term funding. Others say that if we don't act now, millions of seniors will be forced into financial hardship. That's why this bill has been such a hot topic in Washington, with both sides debating how to make it work without breaking the system. Now, what does this mean for your payments? If this bill goes through as planned, you could see a significant increase in your monthly check, but it may not be the full $4,600 unless you meet specific criteria. However, even if the amount is lower, any increase would be a step in the right direction. The good news is that because this bill has already passed, the odds of some type of benefit increase are high. It's just a matter of working out the details. So, what should you do right now? First, stay informed. There's going to be a lot of misinformation floating around, with different sources claiming different things about when payments will start and who qualifies. That's why we'll be here breaking it all down for you with real facts. Second, make sure your Social Security records are up to date. If there are changes in benefits, you want to be sure you're receiving the correct amount and that all your information is accurate in the system. And finally, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe. We'll continue to bring you the latest updates as they happen, so you're never left wondering what's real and what's just another rumor. This is your money, your future, and you deserve to know exactly what's happening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.